Hello and welcome back to a Madman Big Finish review, a video series where I review one of the latest Big Finish releases. I'm joined with Professor Pixel.
That's me.
That's him. That's
Good
him.
evening.
Not a qualified professor. He doesn't teach shit. But what he is qualified to do, and so am I, is to talk about this latest Big Finish release. We are here to discuss and review Goth Opera, the return of Big Finish's long silent novels adaptation range where it's in the title itself, they adapt a Doctor Who novel to audio, but not 100%. They'll do some changes here and there, but yeah, the main purpose of it is to just adapt the story itself for audio listeners, for people who can't read or just don't want to read.
That's not it, but
I know it's not it. I'm sorry.
That description. That might be the best description you've given.
The novel adaptations. For people who can't read. But anyway, yes, we are here to talk about Goth Opera. This is the original novel was the first of the Missing Adventures range, I believe it was called. Yes, the Doctor Who Missing Adventures range, where at the time you had the new adventures continuing the adventures of the Seventh Doctor. You had the Missing Adventures to do stories about the previous 6 Doctors. And this was the one that started it all. I've read the original story. It has been quite some time since I've read it, so I can't really remember everything off the bat. But I'm going to just base this adaptation by itself. I'm not going to try and compare it to the novel. Yes, the original novel, which was written by Paul Cornell, very well-known, well-regarded Doctor Who writer. This adaptation is by Elizabeth Mile. It features Peter Davison as the 5th Doctor, Janet Fielding as Tegan Jovanka, Sarah Sutton as Nyssa. We have Mika Balfour as Yavin, the vampire Yavin, and Natalie. I'm going to mispronounce the surname. I apologize. Gumid as Ruath. So we're going to have spoilers in this, as always. So if you haven't listened to it, that's your fault, not mine. But anyway, Goth Opera, Manchester, 1993. The Time Lady Ruath, an old friend of the Doctor's, arrives on the planet to inform Earth's vampires that the arrival of their legendary Messiah is imminent. His rising will herald an age of endless night where the undead reign supreme. All that is needed is the blood of a Time Lord. In Tasmania, Australian representation. The Doctor, Tegan, and Nyssa are enjoying the sun and plenty of cricket. When they are attacked by vampires, they escape unscathed, except for Nyssa, who suffers 2 small puncture wounds to her neck. Compelled by her attacker to remain silent, she can tell no one what she's turning into. Why is Ruath so determined to see the descendants of the great vampires rise to power? If only the Doctor knew the truth, she's certain he would turn to her side and help to ensure the future of vampire kind, no matter how much humanity must suffer. So, yes, Goth Opera. Pixel, because you haven't read the original one. So this is your first foray into Goth Opera, at least an adaptation of it. What were your thoughts on Goth Opera?
We first have to go ahead and address the hot Rassilon in the room, because he gives us a prologue talking about facing the great vampires and what he saw, which you told me was not in the original novel.
Yes, there are. That's at least one of the main differences with the novel and the audio adaptation is that the prologue scene of Rassilon talking about the vampires and the war against them, the eternal war against the vampires, does not exist. So this is entirely...
Nicholas Briggs went to the phone And he
He
looked
said,
through his
"Hey,"
contact.
he went.
Hey, you want me to pay your rent this month? Thank you, Richard Armitage. See you soon.
I feel like maybe around the same time he was doing something for the Gallifrey series, so
Maybe. When did this start? Like, when was this being produced?
maybe one of the future ones. I don't know if this was recorded around the same time as War Room 2. I can't remember if even Rassilon was in War Room 2. Well, I don't know. Production dates anymore because the new Big Finish website doesn't
have them.
I don't think it tells us anymore. No, it doesn't. That's kind of
Wow.
unfortunate.
That sucks.
Oh boy, this guy stinks. No, I imagine. Yeah, I imagine it's probably Richard Armitage was there to record something for the Gallifrey series.
And they thought that would be a nice touch. Probably. I did enjoy it though. I think this is my first time hearing him perform as Rassilon for anything now.
Oh, he's good. He's quite
so
good in the.
Oh my god.
It's very intimidating one. This is his Rassilon is supposed to be the one that's coming up with the ultimate sanction. The whole we need to destroy the universe to turn ourselves into like beings of consciousness.
Very cool.
So yeah, he does a really good, like very intimidating like Rassilon.
So I don't think about vampires in Doctor Who a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not a big fan of Vampires of Venice?
Those weren't real vampires, were they? No.
Yeah, vampire-ish.
Vampire-ish, and didn't they have like a whole connection to the sea or something? That's why they were in bed.
They're like fish vampires.
They're fish vampires. That's not real vampires. These are real vampires. The Doctor does not.
Sorry, I'm not prejudiced against.
We'll get prejudiced against vampires, okay? So this was very interesting. Just go ahead. Oh yeah, vampires. Dracula. Oh yeah, he was one of them.
Dracula's a thing. Yeah,
he was a thing. But no, I really did enjoy just how. Oh yeah, vampires are a thing. Great vampires were a thing, and then Ruath, who starts as this old woman. It's the same voice actress to do that old woman, which I understand. You don't want to go ahead and bring somebody in just for like a 2-minute part. But she leans over for the beginning and then she just stands up for the rest of the recording. And she's a great voice actress. That's fine.
Yeah.
But Ruath's whole thing about maybe the Time Lords evolved the way they were because Rassilon was bitten by a vampire. I almost expected the prologue to leak more into, like, at the end, maybe we'd get something more, an epilogue from Rassilon as well. Just something to tie that in. It's just kind of there. That's
to be fair, that is kind of something like it was this story in particular that brought up the whole like maybe Rassilon is a vampire, hence like why he killed them off. He got bitten by one to maybe like it's one of the possible ways that regeneration is a thing because vampires and Time Lords have similar DNA to an extent. But again, the Doctor says parallel evolution, so which is also a thing. Hence why like Cybermen can exist on different planets and sometimes look the same.
Yep. So that is pretty much most likely
because there was another audio story, I think. Oh no, it doesn't really have to do with like the cult of Rassilon the vampire, but Zagreus had like there was Tepish, I think, who was a vampire, like Time Lord.
I think the story itself, I have some problems with the overall like plot of, okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn it into this half world of eternal night. Because it's not because that idea doesn't work. It just, when I was listening to it, the execution of it felt a little more convoluted than what they were trying to do. They were basically trying to stop the rotation of the Earth for or with the universe stopping as well. But just this pause, everybody keeps going, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you could say that. You could say that better than the way you're saying it. I also I do have to give credit where credit is due. Yarvin is a fantastic vampire. Like his whole presence and performance, it is pretty damn great. Trying to think of. I know a lot of people are excited for Vampire Nissa, but she didn't really stand out that much to me in this.
Yeah, that's something that I've seen a few people talk about, that like Nissa's role in the novel compared to this is lesser. Like they've lessened like the whole conflict of like Nissa being a vampire and her struggles with it. Which
Well, I mean that's just natural in a in something that's playing like an audio play compared to a novel.
a novel.
A novel has internal thoughts. You get a closer look, but you can't get that in this because you're seeing it from the outside. You don't know what the inner monologue is saying. You can't hear Nissa say inside of her head, "Man, I'm going to eat Tegan."
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
The Doctor does have a good presence in this. Him going along with that. Oh, God, I must do this. Yes, it makes sense. Oh, of course, I'll become your consort. Why not? But no, most of the story is good. But there is one more person that I have to bring up. What is his name? The not a priest. I don't think he was an actual.
Victor Lang.
Yeah, Victor Lang with his holy mission. Oh yes, I'm going to save us from the evils of the world.
The evils of Satan.
Gets captured by the vampires. What did they put in him again? Because slow acting blood from Yarvin. It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a sci-fi, baby.
I feel like most of the story has some fun elements. I enjoyed most of it, but thinking back on it, it's not the best story. It's okay. I think it's mostly okay.
It's definitely not Paul Cornell's best.
No.
I wouldn't say it's terrible either.
No, it's not terrible. It's okay.
Yeah. For me, I remembered for the novel, I remembered really enjoying the novel. I do like the novel, and I really enjoyed this as well. Yeah, it does have some problems. But regardless of that, I really did enjoy this adaptation. I think, especially with like this year, I would say like the Fifth Doctor's been on a roll with releases, so to have another one, and especially with the TARDIS team that of like him, Tegan, and Nissa, that's, I would say, like kind of the best team of that era, even though it's like only briefly for a bit in like Arc of Infinity, and I guess Snake Dance. I think I can't remember if Turtler was in Snake Dance or not. But no.
We need more Turlo. Give me more Turlo. Where is he?
Too late, Tegan is dead. But no, this adaptation, it's good. I think it's a good adaptation. It could have been better. Like, yeah, the stuff with Nissa, yeah, that's what I've heard from people. Like, it's not as fleshed out as it is in the novel. So, could have added a bit more to that. But no, regardless, I was thoroughly entertained with this story, with this adaptation. The cover, really like the cover. Although I do prefer the novels. Although the novels didn't really particularly have that much of a cover. It's just like, this is the cover for the novel. There's Yavin's castle and then Vampire Nissa. Which is funny because apparently the original novel, like, there was supposed to be more blood on Nissa's shirt, but they're like, oh no, that's a bit... That might be a bit too violent. It's just like, yeah, you say that while the Virgin Nude Adventures are a thing, or it's supposed to be more adult, but sure, I guess. But no, yeah, performances, great as always. It's a fun, entertaining story.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy that novel adaptations are back.
Yes, we need more.
I think we need more of them. Particularly, I would like for them to try and do the Eighth Doctor ones. Because the Eighth Doctor has some really good stories, which I think you could try and do a really good audio adaptation. Like, speaking of vampires, like having Paul McGann do vampire science as an audio story. Because you go from the Eight Doctors, which is like whatever, not the best introduction for a range, but then you go to vampire science, where it's like, this is the shit. This is good.
This is what we should.
This is what we should have. So having like Paul McGann,
give me 12 of them.
yeah, having Paul McGann do that would be good. Alien Bodies, which introduces the whole War in Heaven and faction paradox and all that. That'd be a really good, and also like, what the hell am I listening to audio story? Because it does get weird, and if I remember correctly, like there are certain parts that focus on each of like the bidders at the auction, like how they came to be, and it's told in reverse. So it's told from like the latest person to get the bid, I think, to like the oldest or something like that. I can't remember, but no, I feel like hopefully this is successful and they do more adaptations.
Yes.
Because previously it was just like, let's kind of just focus on 4 and 7.
Yeah.
Except for Cold Fusion. Cold Fusion is 5. Even though 7 is in it, it's a 5th Doctor story. The 7th Doctor just happens to also be in it.
Hi, I'm here too.
It's an interesting dynamic because it's just like 7 knows everything because he was the 5th Doctor, so he's actively trying to stop his previous self from interfering.
I was here before. Oh,
and he doesn't like the 5th Doctor. It's so funny.
He doesn't like much of anybody, does he?
No. I think he even says like, I think it's even on like the back of the book. Oh yeah, here we go. The entire universe is at stake, and I'm locked in here with another incarnation of myself, not even one of the good ones. Wow. So it's like so funny that like 10th Doctor's like, oh, I loved being you. I loved being the 5th Doctor.
So great.
And the 7th Doctor's just like, I fucking hate this guy. But no. Yeah, Goth Opera. It's fun. What would you rate it?
If I was going to go ahead and rank it, I would give it I think I would give it a 7. 7.
7?
It is really entertaining. It's Doctor Who, but it's not one of the best. But it's good. Solid. 7.
Yeah, I'd give it slightly higher. I'd give it like 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, it's not perfect. There's definitely been better stories, but like I had a lot of fun with it, and the performances are really, really good. I really like the cover. I like everything about this.
The stakes of it?
Wow, such biting commentary from you. I can't think of any other vampire puns, so let's end this.
I'm going to say goodbye.
That's it for this review. If you've listened to Goth Opera, please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll see you all in the next one. Ciao.
Allons-y!